In this video I'm going to show you how to play Hoplomachus Origins, the solo trials. Now I've already done a video explaining the components and the various mats that are available in this, and I'll link to that up there. But this is solo trial number 1, and that's 1 of 20. So there's 2 sheets that you'll need out of the box in addition to the first mat. The first mat is Xanadu, and we know that because on solo trial 1 it says the arena is Xanadu. It gives some drafting rules, which is basically the units that you are allowed to take for this particular challenge, and that changes all the way through. So in this case I'm not allowed to draft Xanadian units, which are the dark green ones, and I'm only allowed 6 in the solo trials as opposed to 8 in the 2-player game. And my challengers are Ariq Boke and Korykos. Now just note this, that this is in standard font. Down here Ariq Boke is in bold font. Now that has some significance. So this is our champion. This is the Ariq Boke that we'll use for this challenge. Look on the reverse, you'll see 2 stars denoting a harder opponent. So if it appears in bold on the solo trial sheet, it's always the starred side that you'll use. Now going back to the rules, we've got 5 health, 1 attack range, 1 movement and 1 tactical range, and some various keywords which we'll go through as the game progresses. Now this particular champion has parry, which is an innate, and that means that the first attack will miss regardless it's parried. Not the first dice roll that hits, but the first attack will miss outright. The other challenger is Korykos. It's only 2 health, however it's got a fantastic ability which is they hit automatically without having to roll. It's ready, so it can move and attack in the first phase, less of an issue when this is on the computer side, but only 2 health, so a bit of a weakness there. So that's who we're lining up against, and I, to combat this, have selected a team of 6. Now what you're going to want to do is select your team of 6 depending on the mat. Now this is the Xanadu mat, and the rules of the Xanadu mat are from the rule book and doesn't really change that much from the 2-player game. There's some arena hexes in the middle. You line up on opposite sides of the mat, and basically what you're trying to do is occupy the arena hexes. For every turn that you start with a chip on the arena hexes, you gain 1 point. If you get to 6 points, you win the game. The other method of victory on this map and the first solo challenge is to eliminate the opponent altogether. So let's get set up. So we've selected our units, which I'll go through in a second, and the challenges. Now where to place them on the mat. So on the solo rules sheet you have different placements for each of the arenas. So in this case our champion is placed first on area 1, and on area 2 is the first of the regular units. So our opponents line up as follows. Now let's have a look at the 6 chips that I've chosen to combat and hopefully win this arena. So I'll start off with a tactic. The tactic is a really simple one, which is just adds 2 health to a friendly unit. I've got a tactician which has initiative, so it can move first but it can't actually attack first. It's got the strategic attack which offloads a yellow dice, which we'll come on to. We've got 2 attackers, and the attackers have this retaliate ability which negates the parry. It's also got 3 dice, which is fantastic. It's got this whirlwind, which is probably not going to be that useful in this battle. We've got a marauder which is ready, so it can move and attack on its first turn, although it can only move 1 space, which is a bit of a negative. And we've got a centurion, which is just a really harder unit at 4 health, only 1 movement, but it does have the shove, so I can hopefully shove people off the hexes, and it has parry, so it's virtually going to be unhittable in this game, especially if I deploy maybe 2 chips on or so. So the turn order actually starts as it does in any game, which is deploy, move, then attack. So I'm going to choose to deploy my tactician first. He's got 2 health, so I'll load him up and I'm going to deploy him here. So he gets to move. He's going to move to here, 1, 2, 3, and hopefully he will survive around a combat or so, and he will allow me to gain some unit points. So when you deploy, you can actually deploy a unit or a tactic or both. So I'm actually going to play my tactic straight away because he's quite a weak unit but quite good. So I'm going to add 2 health to this guy straight away. So he's up on 4 health, and then I'm going to move him to my position here. Now, computer's turn. Now the way this works is you use each of the 4 coloured dice, and essentially there's a little automata script, and there's 1 for each of the 3 mats, again, which I explained in the first video. So on this, which is the Xanadu Arena, if you roll a green hit, the guy moves. A black hit, it heaves, which is unique to this map, so it'll try and throw someone off behind them off the stones. You've got an arena knockback, which is really dangerous because it moves people away, but if they can't actually move backwards, so they're at the edge of the map, they suffer 2 damage, which will finish a lot of units off. And then we've got the basic attack. So, computer's turn, we will roll these dice, and we'll try and keep them in order. So we'll go green, black, blue, yellow. Now, like with a lot of solo games, there is a bit of sort of bookkeeping and organisation required. So we'll try to work through in this order. So computer's turn, no one occupying a space and no points gained, and we'll work from left to right. So this guy's going to move, but how does he move? So on the solo rules sheet, there is essentially an order of priority for each of the 3 arenas, and also some special rules for various units. Now in the Xanadu Arena, basically you'll move towards the Arena X, or if there's an option, then towards an Arena X and the closest opposing unit, and if there's more than 1 unit, then you'll move towards the weakest opposing unit. If it's an attack, they'll go for the closest opposing unit, and if there's a choice, then they'll go for the weakest opposing unit, which kind of makes sense. So this guy has just got a movement of 1, so he's just going to move towards an Arena Hex. He's got the heave action, which is irrelevant in this case, and 2 misses. So on to Korykos' turn. They're going to move towards an Arena Hex with 3 movement. So they occupy an Arena Hex and they hit. Now, one of the reasons why I was very keen to get on these raised Arena Hexes is that if you are attacked by a unit that's on the hex, they get an elevated bonus, and elevated is a keyword which allows you to gain +1 damage. So you really don't want to leave yourself in a position where your opponent is on the hex and you are not. So they can do automatically 1 damage, and then the turn swaps to me. So I'm going to deploy first, and I think it's probably time to get my Centurion, my hardy guy involved. And he starts with 4 health. I'm going to start him off here, so hopefully I'm going to make my way over to Ariq Boke and start doing some damage. So he's deployed, can't do anything else. This guy can just do 1 hit automatically. So I'm going to kill that there. I also, talking of organisation, started my turn on the hex. So that should really be the first check you can do. And you can tell how it can perhaps get out of hand if you're not disciplined in keeping that organised. So on to my opponents. They have 1 chip on the Arena Hex, so 1 point to begin with. Roll the dice, try and put them in order. Our order is move, heave, arena knockback, basic attack. So this is a bit of a peculiarity of the game. There's no movement in this case, so our guy doesn't actually move at all, which seems sort of strange to me, but that's the way the dice roll. So these 2 are irrelevant, and it's only got an attack range of 1. so it can't make an attack. So onto Korykos, already on an arena hex, so they're just going to attack and they're going to chip away again, knocking off 1 health. So on to my turn. So I'm going to deploy another unit. I've got a choice of attackers and marauders. I think retaliate is going to end up being a really useful skill. Also, they've got 2 movements, so I'm going to get these guys involved. 3 health, and it just feels brilliant moving these chips around. Absolutely great. Started on a hex, so I'll move up to 2. Onto movement. This guy's deployed this turn. However, this guy can edge towards, and we will, in a rather undramatic fashion, use our 1 hit, no roll, just to knock off Korykos. We are back on to the computer's turn. Check for the arena hexes. Doesn't occupy, so it remains 2-1. Roll our dice. No, this is so strange. I don't think that's ever happened. I've played this game quite a lot. Nothing happens, so the guy does not move, which is ever so strange. My turn. Move to 3 points. I can deploy. So I've got a choice between my attacker and marauder, or no unit at all. But I think I'm going to deploy a marauder with 2 health, throw him into the mix, and hopefully close down on an Ariq Boke. So I'm going to move my tactician up. We'll move the centurion in, and we will move our attacker. It's got 2 movements, started last turn. 1, 2. However, this does not occupy a space adjacent, so it can't attack. Right, so I'm going to attack here first. It's parried, so my automatic hit doesn't get through. So I'm going to roll a single green die, but I get the strategic attack bonus. So I'm going to have a green plus a yellow, and that's what strategic attack does. It gives additional adjacent units, friendly adjacent units, a yellow die attached to use with their basic attack. So let's see how much damage we can do. 2 hits, the dice are kind tonight. So it passes turn to the computer. Doesn't occupy an arena hex. Roll our dice. We're going to go green, black, blue and yellow. So we have no movement. We have a hit. Heave the strongest opponent, the strongest adjacent unit on an arena hex directly overhead. So strongest would be, I guess, this guy here, and he's on an arena hex, so he goes directly overhead, moving off, and no other actions, which is kind of bizarre. This is a strange way this game is playing out. So on to me. Start phase 4-5 for 2 arena hexes. Perhaps for the first time going to win on arena points rather than a total knockout. So we'll see how it goes. I might as well throw my other attacker on. Need 2 more chips out of the box. And we'll move the marauder into play. 1 point of movement. This guy also has a single point, but what I'm going to do is move my attacker up as well. Now this way I've got the strategic attack bonus on 2 units. So I'm going to attack with this first, which is parried, so no effect, and then we're just going to attack for a green dice and a yellow dice. And I realised that I think last time, because I attacked from a mounted, an elevated position, I should have done +1 damage, but idiot tax on that one. I won't take advantage of that. So this guy's going to attack, and it's going to be a straight roll. 1 damage. Next, this guy is going to roll, and this should hopefully finish off. He gets +1 damage as he is elevated. And he's going to roll a black, a blue, a yellow, and through the strategic effect, he's going to have an additional yellow. So we should be able to generate 2 damage, hopefully. Okay, 1 unit of damage. However, he's attacking from an elevated position, which gives us +1, which finishes Ariq Boke off. He dies and we win the turn. And that is the conclusion of Xanadu Solo Trial 1. So check the next video out for Xanadu 2, which is the second solo trial, slightly different arrangement. We've got a draft that's limited to 5 chips, but it's Ariq Boke, Korykos and Mashmoy. So let's see how that goes. And as always, thank you for watching. And I tend to make lots of tactical errors in these videos. As much as I love solo games, I'm not brilliant at them. So do let me know how you would have played this in the comments below. See you in the next video.